When we Franciscans think about Christmas, our first thought is obviously St. Francis and his wonderful recreation of Bethlehem at Greccio in the 13th century. That gives us the popularity of the nativity scenes that Franciscans love and so many people love. You don't often think of Saint Clare of Assisi in terms of Christmas. Within Saint Clare, as we know her now, there was a gospel conversion going on independent of Francis. And like St. Francis, Clare came to realize that God came into human history and in a kind of a downward movement that we hear in the letter to the Philippians, where Jesus didn't cling to divinity, but became part of our human condition, became one of us, really. The incarnation is the fancy theological term for this. Like Francis, Clare had to descend. She lived high on the upper level of the city of Assisi, where the noble lived. And so she left her family on a Palm Sunday night and descended, came down to meet Francis and his brothers, and went to the Our Lady of the Angels, St. Mary of the Angels, where her hair was cut. She was given the veil of a nun, and she went to live with Benedictine sisters first. But this downward movement is the parallel to Francis, who also saw God in the incarnational presence in Jesus Christ. I think who met Francis at his lowest point. Clare recognized this in her, also her spiritual journey. So in Clare's spiritual journey, she saw the same incarnational emphasis that Francis saw. And at some point, the two of them did connect. But they connected, I think, as people who had a common spiritual vision, not as a starstruck teenager who fell in love with this dashing character, but rather a woman of faith who recognized the movement of God. And certainly the incarnation is our theme in Advent at Christmas. So we can look to Clare and her grasping of this great mystery.